It's finished at the J. Davidson Stadium in front of just over 2,000 on a Tuesday night. Altrincham 1, Kidderminster Harriers 1. Altrincham manager Phil Parkinson joins us. Phil, against a team that doesn't score many goals, we got off to the worst possible start.
We did, and unfortunately that's cost us maximum points tonight. I'll be honest, I'm really positive with performances, but take the performance away there after the opening 2 minutes. We can't start games like that. They were great after that, but ultimately we should win that 1-0 minimum. They've had very little threat on our goal. I think Hobson's had a long range shot in the first half that you expect our keeper to save, or was it the second half, I'm not sure. But ultimately we've dominated from probably about minute 2 or 3, whatever it was, after they scored all the way through. But domination's no good if you don't take all 3 points, so I'm certainly not going to stand in front of you and say how pleased I was with the players and the performance. That's a given here. We expect high standards and we should be winning that game.
We got back into the game relatively quickly midway into the first half, and really good quick thinking from Lewis Banks with the throw, and Justin Amaluzor has played his part, and it was a lovely finish from Lewis.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that. Neil literally come up to me, had his notepad, and he pointed out that's the first combination of the half, and it was. I felt our forwards took a time to get going. We didn't really step out with the ball enough from the back to create them overloads, and once we did, we scored. But listen, Kidderminster are fighting for their lives. I've got a lot of time for Russ and Jimmy, great people, and they come and got what they needed to get out of it. But ultimately, from our side of it, the opening 2 minutes is what's cost us there, and our poor finishing in the second half. But ultimately, a team where you say they don't score many, but they don't give many chances away either. So I felt, as I said, I don't want to be overly critical of the players because they give everything, but we should be winning that game.
And it was frustrating because we've done well to create opportunities. We've worked our way through them on a number of occasions, particularly in the second half. But then we've snatched at 1 or 2.
We have, like I said, poor finishing, not being concentrated from minute 1 has cost us all 3 points tonight. But again, I'll flip it on its head as well. Just speaking to you, we have a way of doing it here, don't we? We will take positives from it. We've been here before. How many games is that now? 7 or 8 unbeaten in this division. He's no mean feat. I've stood in front of you before where we've had a game like that and lost 2-1. So I have to take them types of positives with the performances, with the chances against a very stingy Kidderminster who are fighting for their lives, but a tough one to swallow. I'm not going to say it after, I'm going to say it again, but the 2 minutes that we've just absolutely let ourselves down really, really badly there. And we've been so good from set pieces of late. Even when they've got that one, the corner, we defended that really well. I think they only had 1 or maybe 2 corners, long throws coming into the box by the one that they've scored off. We've really worked hard at that in terms of rectifying some of the question marks over, so it's really sickening that we've conceded in that manner.
8 unbeaten, and if we had won tonight, it would have been 6 straight wins on the bounce. You have to go back to 1995 for 5 straight wins, so we'd have been looking into the record books if we'd have got all 3 points tonight. But we've got a very tough looking fixture on the horizon at Oldham on Saturday.
I think it's one to look forward to. I'm relishing the challenge of going there. I felt we were desperately unlucky to lose that FA Cup game when I reviewed it. I felt I was a little bit harsh on the players in a really tight game, by probably 2 or 3 minutes that Oldham had, where they've had 2 or 3 minutes in the first half where they've had a spell on the ball, and then in the second half they've gone on to score. They are a massive club, they have got a great following, and that gives them a big lift. But you've seen tonight, I think they've fallen to Fylde. They're not invincible, and if we play anywhere near our standards, we can go there and take maximum points, and that's what we've got to be focusing on.
I felt in the cup game the pitch didn't work in our favour, and it'd be a better surface at Boundary Park.
Absolutely, hopefully that works in our favour. Obviously, listen, they're at home. I can't speak highly enough of the football club. They're such a well-renowned football club, and to go there, it's always a great occasion, and we've got to rise to that occasion, and these players certainly will. They're hurting after that. No one's happy with that draw tonight, and we've got to go and put it right on the weekend.
28 points in the league now. It's before the end of October. In most seasons we'd be absolutely bouncing with that.
Yeah, we should be, and I don't want to take anything away from the points return, but it should be much higher. I feel we should be on 35, pushing 40, if I'm going to be really, again, critical of what we've achieved so far. But you've got to be, as we always have been here, we've got to be positive as well. We've got to look at the great things that we've done. The points return's been fantastic. The run in the league has been superb. As you said, you're searching back years and years to sort of find a match for that. So it shows we're definitely going in the right direction, and we're hurting from drawing a game at home. So in this division, you should never snuff at any point, but ultimately, when you know you should take 3, and we've had a few of them this season, and we had some last season. But again, I've stood in front of you where we've played that well and lost. So I've got to take something from it. The lads have shown great character. They didn't stop as well. They went all the way to the end. They didn't give up. Creating chances. Jez has had one that he's blazed over at the end. Justin's had one, or a second attempt as well. Dior did ever so well with that. It was a brilliant turn for Dior. He's so desperately unlucky he's not getting the goal that his great play deserves at the moment. But it's got to come for him, and I'm sure it will, because he's working hard, improving every day. And Chris has had one that he's just dragged wide, and they've been going in for us, so we need them to go in again for us to win these types of games. But I've just said to everybody in there, we should win that 1-0.
And the fixture list isn't doing us any favours at the moment. The game against Dorking postponed on Saturday, and we've got a blank Saturday on the 4th of November, so that means 1 Saturday out of 3, which is not ideal.
No, it's not, but then again I'll flip that on its head. Regan should be back following on from that little break. I'm not saying he's going to be back firing on all cylinders, but that'll be a big lift for us. That will be the equivalency of a new player coming in, because we've missed him for that long now. George Wilson will be back in full training on Thursday, which is a big plus for us, because we've had little or no cover of midfield, and we've chanced our arm with that in terms of not bringing anyone in because of the form of Isaac and Elliott. So hopefully we want to keep the momentum, we want to keep playing, but it might give our squad time to sort of replenish and refresh. That's how I've got to look at it, because if we don't, obviously you get frustrated with it was already frustrating with the Saturday game, because you want to bounce into that, but ultimately, again, it might have been a blessing in disguise. Ethan was struggling with illness, so would he have been 100%? I doubt it. So again, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, in terms of sometimes with the luck and the fall of the games. So ultimately, we'll always look at it as in how we can use it to our advantage rather than how it can hurt us.
And another player, Matty Costello, not too far away now. He started the season on fire, and he's been a big miss.
Again, yeah, so he should be back in a couple of weeks maximum. So he's had a little pubis injury. And hopefully it's getting better every day. Every time I speak to Matt, he's a day closer. So again, if you're getting Regan, Matty, George, that's a fantastic return for us. If we come back after that mini break that you're talking about with those types of players, we'll definitely be in an improved squad.
And finally, Phil, it's a really competitive division. We knew it was going to be. It's turning out that way. I know Chesterfield and to a lesser extent Barnet have got a little bit of a gap at the top, but there really isn't that much between the rest of the teams.
No, and that's why it's important that we've improved every season. So those people who stand still, or those teams that stand still, those teams that don't have the vision that we have or had to have to keep moving, we recognise we needed to go full time. There was a lot of question marks over that, this historical part-time club, the investment that's gone into it, but people have got to remember that the model as well. The model has allowed us to get to where we are. If we wouldn't have sold all them players last season, we wouldn't have been able to bring in the players we have this time. It's not some money man flashing the cash. We've worked exceptionally hard to get to where we are. And I think the board in particular, for the vision, the desire, deserve a lot of credit for that, because if they weren't brave and if they just stood still and allowed the football club to stand still, we wouldn't be having these conversations about 28 points. We might have been the other end of the table, still part-time, struggling to find the right players, struggling to match these types of teams. They still competing, because Altrincham will always compete. It'll always be a tough nut to crack, but ultimately you've been here a lot longer than me, Bri. It's been a yo-yo team. We don't look like that yo-yo team anymore, and if we keep progressing, we won't be.
Excellent. Thank you very much.